Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Does those Anabots have you down? Is you're missing your shot and do you just want a new way of doing aim practice? Well, luckily for us, we can use a new form of kind of aim training or new way of practicing aim inside of Overwatch. Outside of shooting the aim, the practice range bots would have a head box that is so fucking huge that I'm pretty sure my cat can hit him. And he doesn't even touch the computer. Now, the whole idea of this is quite simple. You essentially just go in and play the new event. It's done until May 6th, I believe, and therefore until then you can use this as a good web aim practice. And it actually is, if you play correctly, a really good way of doing aim practice. From everything, if you want to get really good at Genji, really good at Hands of Widow, Kree, or Trace, or even, practicing a Pulse Bomb package, Dragon Blade dashes, really anything, juggling with a Winston even, all the way from that, to just learning how to high noon and then click that mouse one button to just snipe all of them out of the air like the pro you are. Now, essentially, before we just start this video, I just want to say, first of all, that the next video is gonna be about a skip from Tarkov, so I would love to get some, if you like essentially hardcore FPS, really hardcore PvP FPS, there's some loot involved where you really can dominate people and take their loot from them and bring it in to gear yourself better up and so on. If you like that kind of rush that you're risking something, but if you're good you also gain something, then I highly recommend checking out that. If you like that type of it will be the next video on the channel. In general, if you guys that wanna can go and check that out as well, even though you might sound interesting or you just want to give feedback on other content on this channel just because of what can happen on Overwatch, what just happened to Freshnel, that he got demonetized, like completely cannot run ads anymore. In general, stuff like that, make sure to that, other videos like that, make sure that this channel can thrive even though something happens to Overwatch or the Overwatch scene, even though Overwatch will still be the, what can I say, the same amount of content will come up on the channel. Just other videos like that helping that getting out there will help the channel in the long run. So thank you guys for checking that out. If you could do that the next video and so on, or if you're just interested at all, giving me feedback on those kind of videos is also very, very nice. Now, how do you do this? How do you set it up? What is the do's and don'ts? It's quite simple. You run the event. I found out that running it on the second easiest difficulty is not the easiest, but the second difficulty was really the best one. It's relaxing, so you can actually focus on your accuracy. You can actually focus on aiming, and if you get some weird team composition, that's fine. And at the same time, the bots actually do damage. They actually do hit back. You can't just AFK shoot them and stuff like that. And they are actually a little bit of a challenge. You can actually die. And in general, they strafe. There's enough of them and all that kind of good stuff. Too high difficulty, it becomes too much of a stress, and all of a sudden you have to play other ways. But if you're high enough rank and you're good enough and you really want a challenge, then putting yourself, of course, on the higher difficulties is. I just found that on a general basis, I believe that the second difficulty is good for the average player. Now, I've said this before because this is a huge mistake that a lot of people make when they try to do aim practice, and that is take your time with your shots. We're not practicing to click the mouse as fast as possible or as hard as possible. That's not what we're training for. We're training to learn how to actually hit the shots. So if you constantly miss a bunch of shots that you should not miss, then you're not training your muscle memory correctly. You want to train for hits. So taking your time and making sure that you hit every single shot and starting slow if you have to, then in the end you will speed up. That way you actually train effectively. And I've seen that with a lot of people that run Anabots and other aim practices for like, hours and hours and ends, and they improve, but they improve very slowly. And a lot of time it is because they shoot so fast that they miss too much, right? If you're so comfortable landing body shots, okay, headshots are the next. You want to now start landing all headshots, and then you fire slowly and you speed up. And you're not always as good on all heroes or in all alternative fire modes. For example, against left click versus right click. Now, as always, you can practice most thing in this game, but you can practice Pulse Bomb because there's a lot of squishy heroes and so on. This is so good because, again, the bots actually retaliate. At the same time, you have a healer with you. At least most of the time, you have a healer with you. They do actually, as I said, the bots actually do retaliate at you. And the standard heroes has 200 health, which is normal health for any normal DPS or support. And the other shotgun suit, I do believe, have 400 health, which is right where Asaria is. So it's also really good for just remembering your damage numbers and seeing the damage numbers in front of you constantly. At the same time, you actually need to play this smart. You can't just AFK, and they strafe very nicely. There's a huge quantity of them. They constantly keep coming, and for me, that is what makes this such a good game mode. It's far more realistic while still giving you a big focus. It's kind of like the middle ground, right? Anabots is just pure aim. They don't do any damage back. You can just sit back, relax, shoot as slowly as possible because there's no punishment. Competitive ladders where you want to be performing, so you need to strafe, think about old economy and a lot of stuff where you're not always allowed to think about your aim. Plus, that's not where you want to do aim practice. You want to have good aim when you play your ranked games, right? And this is kind of a good in-betweener compared to FFA, where everyone is kill stealing and there's a lot of weird shit going on, right? This is a really good way where it spots. They're easy to kill. You can kind of do focus on your accuracy without getting punished too much, while there still are some form of pressure on you, and there's still some form of realistic presence here, so that you can actually continue working on that. Now that is my recommendation. Just practice whatever you need to do. Pulse Run, Dragon Blade, juggling with a Winston, whatever you need to practice, go and practice that, as that is something that will help you in the long run. It's only here for May 6th. I would wish that Blizzard would give us some form of mode like this, or give us a setting where, like, if we could have a setting where you have a healer just attached to you, or you just get a heal buff, right? Like a passive buff that consistently heals you. That way, you can play against bots. For example, in a game like this where there comes bots at the bots, we could set up like custom matches that spawns custom AI. At the same time, we have a heal buff on ourselves so that we don't need a pocket healer. That way, we could stay sustained throughout the entire matches, while we could practice aimbots, while the bots could actually shoot back at us, right? Especially if you play someone like Kree or something like that. If you try like 6 Ana bots and you play Kree and they do normal damage, they normally just nuke you very fast, right? It's very difficult to outplay that, and you're gonna end up wasting a lot of time on respawning, running around with low health. If you could play that where you kind of pace them out a little bit more, so they came in a consistent stream in groups of 3, they just groups of 3, died, respawned immediately right around the corner, immediately peek back out, while you have this kind of regenerative burst. So as long as so every time you kill 3, you immediately get full health again, and then they come again, and then you continue doing this, so you don't have to run around for health back. That would be amazing. That's not what we have. That's for these events, these PvE events, especially this one, which is so much better than the Junkenstein event, where they just run in straight lines, because these guys actually do, to a certain extent, try to move around and so on. This is a really good way of practicing your accuracy. And thank you guys for being active on the community here on YouTube. Also, joining the Discord community is something that you can chat about other video games, Overwatch, just talk in general, memes, everything really. It's a great community. I highly recommend you guys joining. Link in the description, together with my Twitter, my Twitch. As always, guys, want to hire me as a private coach? It's with yours for a 2-hour session. It doesn't matter if you bronze top 500, as long as you can get a bot to me, I can help you improve, rank up, and get better. So hit me up on Discord, and hopefully we can set up a session to help you rank up at the game. But besides that, guys, I hope I see you guys around. I love you guys very, very much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the next video that we're coming up about other games. In general, thank you for being awesome. I love you guys very, very much. Have a good one. As always, my name is Jonal. Keep the enemy in your crosshair.